Chapter 18. The Meeting. Natalie and Celeste left my house, not a few minutes before Simone burst into the front door. She skipped her way down the hall, giggling giddily to herself. She tried to hide her elation, but from my lazy position sprawled across the couch, contemplating my own existence, it was all too obvious. "Good day at uni," I snuffed as she bounced away towards the kitchen. "Ha," she sighed, "terrible day at uni." "Sarcastic happiness?" I asked. "No, I'm just happy about stuff. She paused, swiveling on her foot. "Stuff you actually know about." "Oh, really?" I asked. "Well, I haven't heard anything about any boys, and I thought you said that men were trash." "Well, they still are," she said matter-of-factly. "No, this has got to do with Seneva." I had to hold onto my eye to stop it twitching. Her revelations now directly affected me. Hell, they could even involve me. I broke a sweat. "Oh, the Seneva," I asked. "What revelation did you come up with?" "You must have stopped chasing them if you're not dead," she noted, standing over me now. "Well, you're not dead, and you've been looking a hell of a lot longer than I have." "True," she hummed, "but I can see their danger more than most people." "Can you?" I snorted to myself. "What did you find?" "I wouldn't want to spark your curiosity again, lest you go searching and hurt yourself, but..." Her concern turned to a face-wide grin. She unzipped her bag and withdrew from its largest pocket our family video camera. She pressed the eject button and the cassette-sized tape popped out. She caught it and put everything else down. "Watch this, I'm telling you, this is the find of the century. I'll go down in very real history, James." "Simone the historian, what the hell did you find?" I asked, covering my nerves. She put the cassette into the VHS converter and shoved it into the player. The TV buzzed and crackled to static. "I think I've got the first video of Seneva powers in action." The static melted from the TV, and in its place a picture formed. It was fuzzy at first, being a bright, grassy scene, but then the picture settled. It was a paused frame of 7 figures standing in a grass field surrounded by trees. There were 4 Seneva who had their backs to the camera, and 3 facing them. I immediately recognized the blue flames of the Hiver girl and the jewel-pronged staff of the green and silver figure. This was a video of Zamel, Genevieve, and I facing Vestas. "Oh, sweet cheese," I gasped, flailing my limbs. I recovered myself when Simone turned to face me. "I know," she said. "I mean, photos have been taken before, but how scary is this?" She was elated. My muscles were seizing in fear, the fear of my life in the future. "Now you see why I was reluctant to let you investigate this, right?" You were?" I whimpered. "You must have been right. Damn scary-looking stuff you've got here." "I'm just ecstatic. I mean, finding footage of the paranormal is like a paranormal investigator's life dream." "Do you know who they are in the footage?" I asked. "Well, that's another reason why this footage is so amazing, you see," Simone gawked. "Do you see the girl with the flame?" "The Hiver?" I asked. "Oh, good memory," she smiled. "I'm pretty sure that is Eva Argol," and she tapped the screen. "I don't know how much you've read, but that girl is worth some serious money. I don't know who her friends are, but the other guys are with Heslick and the Empire of the Black Suns. I think they're the good guys," Simone chuckled. "That's Heslick's scientist, Vestas." "How the hell did you find all of this out so easily?" I squeaked. "Eva Argol is underground knowledge, but Vestas is public information. Didn't you find the link to the Empire's website?" "No," I said. "Oh, well, get better at research, James," she scolded. "Anyway, this will rock your socks off." She rewound to the start, then hit play. The sound of wind rushing by blew through the speakers. She zoomed into the scene from her position on the other side of the park. Zamel came into frame, and her deathly howl filled the lounge room. The hairs on my neck stood up. Then I fired my bolt of Quattro, and the fighting started. Zamel was sparring with Vestas' Lictus student. Zamel was amazing. She clawed at the mud under the grass and flung it with ferocity. She twirled on her clawed feet, dancing into position and dodging bolts with the fluidity of the running river. Her aim was impeccable, but her opponent was fierce. Zamel slid under an arc of electricity and swung herself around. She fired a bolt, whipped a snake of water, and redirected her opponent's blast. A burst of fire came from behind her back. It didn't even surprise her. She turned around right away and attacked with a wave of water and mud. Now look at how quick the green guy goes down," Simone said, pointing to the other side of the screen. There I was, getting struck by an arc of electricity from behind and then convulsing. The screen went black. "Yeah, what a loser," I laughed nervously. "Did you see anything after this?" "Nah, the tape ran out of room," she sulked. "I ran away as fast as I could. I went straight to the photo store to convert it to digital." "Convert it to digital?" I gulped. "What are you going to do with the digital version?" "Oh, plenty of stuff," she smiled, ejecting the tape and turning the TV off. Her grin was positively toxic. "Once this goes online, people can't reject the issue at hand, James. The Seneva are a public problem. They're real. We can say this with certainty." I bit my lip and cringed. I couldn't be more uncomfortable if I tried. "Oh, what's up?" Simone asked me. She sat down on the couch, her tape still in hand. I sunk down. What would you do if one of your friends turned out to be a Snever? I asked. Like, I can guess you wouldn't make a Snever friend, but what if an existing friend came out as one? Well, I don't think I'd be their friend anymore, she said flatly. But they're still the same person, I said. Sure, but they wouldn't be once they get a glimpse of the Snever community coming forward, and they'd have to. Heslick's ideals seem pretty well-rounded to me, I swallowed my words. Simone sighed and shook her head. He preaches that he's the fairest, most self-aware oppressor that ever existed, but even his men still attack our goals, she ranted. He talks to everybody about peace and joining the community together and respect for all. Yet I found footage of Snever under his orders ambushing other Snever. He's the biggest advocate for social justice changes, yet not even he can follow his own rhetoric. How can I trust him to withhold his promise to protect me as a normal person? If I can't trust him, then why would I put my trust in any other Snever? Jesus, you've really thought about this, haven't you? I jerked. My hands clenched together. My unease was palpable. Well, I certainly hope no one you know comes out as a Snever. They're in for a shock, hey? Sure, she said, but the community of Snever is also dangerous. Communities like that are where hatred and ideologies get bred really quickly. Circular thinking. Ironic, I coughed under my breath. Pardon me? Nothing, I insisted, squirming away. Good, she smiled at me. I was sweating bullets harder than I had been a week ago at the race. Every word could be a misstep. I was glad when Simone stood up and left, cassette in hand, to the computer. I sunk into the couch. I held on to my conversation with Simone until the next day, letting the horror of the footage and its eventual spread to the internet ferment in the pit of my stomach. I told Natalie and Celeste to meet me in the library, in the computer area. Natalie was there even before I was, and I had the joy of witnessing Rhys Cameron kiss Celeste goodbye as he let her go from his side. I had no right to be angry, because not making a move earlier really was my mistake, but regret burned in my stomach like a fire. It burned right next to the fermenting doom that I had. My head was too full of conflicting terribleness to know exactly how to feel. I pulled up a seat next to Natalie and logged on whilst we waited for Celeste. By the time she was sitting next to us, I already had fairysmogblog.org/Snever loaded and ready to go. Ew, Celeste commented on the screen. Why are you on that site? It's the biggest hit spot for Snever on the internet. The creator is an absolute disgrace. Well, because they've got this, I said and scrolled down. Embedded in the article by Fairy Smog themselves, cited to Simone Gray, was the video Simone had showed me. I pressed play and immediately paused it to let it load. Excuse me, James, but is that us? Natalie gasped at the image. She tried to cover the screen with her hands to make it go away. Celeste pulled them off the monitor. Yep, I said flatly. My sister took the video and sent it in. Perfect place, perfect time. To her, catching footage of Snever is the holy damn grail. Celeste groaned in fury, her face flushed red. Despicable, she spat. We're people, not zoo animals. Now give me that. She took the mouse away from my hands and scrolled past the video. She read the description given by Fairy Smog. She calls me Eva Arol, unbelievable, she growled. Her teeth ground and sparks of flame shot from her tongue. This really is putting a target on our heads, Natalie laughed nervously. Yeah, it sure is, I agreed. We're done for, I reckon. No, that's bullshit, Celeste said. This description says nothing more than Melbourne. They're not trying to set a location, they're just trying to spread their propaganda. That's still too specific for my liking, Natalie added. Let's not get hopeless until we see the video, Celeste grunted. She mashed the mouse button and the video played. See, Celeste said after the first viewing. A Snever can't do anything with this. You can't smell Quatre to the video. They don't even know how Quatre signals, and they don't know how we look like normally. Okay, I mean, that's a little more comforting, Natalie agreed. Still, I said, we've got a reputation. Heslick knows we're against him now. So does everybody. I'm not so concerned about that. With Heslick's plans as you saw them, James, we'd have to be publicly opposing him at some point, Celeste said. If anything, it's a slight upgrade for me. The world gets to see my skill. That's well for you, but I'm too innocent to be the enemy of thousands of people, I protested. Natalie shared my grim realization. Look, not to draw the conversation away, but I had something to bring up today before the bell rings, Natalie said. I think we should follow the red trail to the Snever who's been following us. You do? Celeste and I asked in unison. Yes, she said. They weren't present at the battle. So they were a scout, Celeste said. No, look, I know it sounds crazy, but I've had the urge that we need to follow the red trail to the Snever on the other side. I feel like they need our help, and we definitely need theirs. Not only could they help us defend ourselves from Heslick, but I know that they can help us bring down Heslick's plans. I don't know how I know it, but I do. Well, that's the call of the void, I said. The call of destiny, Celeste sighed. I think that's a terrible idea, though. We don't know anything about them, even past this intuition of yours. And this is the only way to find out then, Natalie argued. I know you're skeptical, and I know you have to be skeptical to survive, but I really think that this is the way to go, Celeste. We can't know who they are until we meet them. I kind of agree, actually, I said, surprised to hear those words come out of my own mouth. I waited for what else my brain had to back them up. Apart from Kuvalik and Lilawell, where else do we have to turn for help? I've never felt threatened by the presence anyway. Because you couldn't feel it, Celeste bit. Yes, but I don't know, I think it's worth a shot. I mean, they're our observer. They've got to know something that we want to know, if they're watching us. Celeste pouted and crossed her arms. I don't know that I trust Destiny right now, she said. It's because of Destiny that I got betrayed so many times by so many people. It's hard to trust that calling. Or, Natalie rebutted, it's due to Destiny that you escaped every time, and that you're here right now to have this conversation. Everything happens for a reason, isn't that the Snaver philosophy? Well, sure, but... And the lessons you've learned from each near encounter turned you into a street-smart, powerful Ever of the Blue Flame. It's all meant to happen. Celeste pouted harder this time, but gave up. I hate to admit it, but you're right, she said. I'm here now and arguably better for my experiences. It's just so hard to trust the world, she sighed. But I swear, if this goes the way that I'm expecting it to, it won't, Natalie said. I promise. I have a really good feeling about this.